All right, welcome back. Okay, today we need to wire up our light switch and get the power flowing between the lines, the electrons flowing more. Okay, all right, I'm sorry. First, we need to talk about the box a little bit. So this worked getting it installed with our brackets when we put them on this wall over here. But it doesn't work when you need to get in there because it's like me reaching way up in there and that ain't working. So when I originally talked about doing this, I talked about welding a nut on the end, and I think that's what I'm still gonna do. So I took them off, I'm gonna do that. So I've made a makeshift welding table out of a metal. What is that? That's a power switch, like for the whole house, like a wire box. So, and they weren't gonna reuse it. So I made part of it into a welding table now. So, field expedient welding table, ready, go. All right, let me get set up and we'll tack some nuts to the brackets and then it'll be easy to take apart. That's what we're gonna do now. That seemed to work. Oh, it didn't work. I got the hole in the wrong place because now my hole's not lined up. That worked nicely. Okay, so I put the little short screw in there. Bolt, maybe that's more accurate. Bolt. I put the short bolt in there to hold it in the hole on the bracket so it wouldn't move around. So that worked really well the second time. Yes, Larry, I got to do something twice and I had to cut it off and start over. Okay, that's the bracket. So painting those and then I'll get them reinstalled and then we'll start working on the wiring. The wiring.
Two hours later.
Got our project started. I did not film the trial and error of my wiring diagram. So you'll just have to trust me that I made lots of mistakes and you didn't get to watch them. All right, first thing I did is I got some power from up front in the battery and just on a temporary wire running down the side of the truck. So I've got power in the back. Let's go check that. It'll be easy to see because there'll be blue lights on stuff. All right, blue lights on stuff, yes. All right, that's super. All right, let's try to get the stand sorted out. Yes, it is a freaking spaghetti nightmare there, but I have it sorted out. All right, so let's get in tight. We'll get in tight. We'll do a tight shot over here. And we'll get one in there like that. We'll call it good. All right, let's say that's fine. All right. All right, so lights for our diagram, which you have seen before. What we have is the switch for the all on is this going into the 3 diodes, which will feed power to the relays, which will send lights, power to the lights. So if I flip this switch with this plugged in, what do we get? Look, lights. 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 If you didn't see the light, this is what we're talking about right here. All right, so how exciting is that? That's pretty exciting, I tell you. Considering my very rudimentary ability to do wiring stuff.
I'm not 100% in love with your tone right now.
The switch actually lights up too, so you know the light is on. So that's fun. Okay, I'm gonna turn that light off, okay? Now, if I hook up any of the other wires, so I can do just pick one of these wires here. I'm gonna power it here. Try not to break it. And I'll put power here and we'll get whatever diode this light turns on. It's that one over there. It's that one over there. Okay? So that's fun. So we can take that one off and turn that off. We can test this one. And we can put that one here again. And we turn that one on over there. That one on over there. And the same thing for the last one. And when we turn this one on, we should have this one over our heads on, which you can see is on. Hey. All right. So with that switch on, I should be able to turn them all on by just hitting this, and it works. Let me clip this so you can see that that works too. All right. So the thought was, if any one of the lights are on, which right now, this one is on, that one is on by itself. You can see the others are not on. Come all the way around. But if we hit the switch, turn everything on, everything comes on. So individually controlled. And I turned that one switch off and they stayed on. Look at that. I'm kind of excited. Yes! Yeah, that turned out pretty good. So now I've got to mount all of this up there. And the problem with that is when I start doing that, I'll need to finish it. So I need to cover this box. I mean, I like the rustic look and all, but the box needs to have some coverage. I took a half day off on Friday, took my wife antique shopping for a table for my office. We didn't find anything that was, let's call it in our price range. We went to a antique store by Nichols Hills, which used to be in the top 10 per capita income neighborhoods in the Americas. And there was a Louis XIV something or other there that was $1,200. Really nice. It would have been super great. There was some Queen Anne something or other also there that was somewhere stupid, $900. It was crazy. Those prices were outrageous, I think is a good way to put it. So we bought nothing. We went to the kind of the low rent district and saw some stuff. And it was a fun trip. We saw a lot of cool things in the antique store, but not what we were looking for. So I got back to the office and I was told that there's a lot of furniture coming from a building we owned, the company owns. So we'll figure that out and maybe we'll order something from the company from their private stock stuff, that's office stuff. Anyway, long story short. All right, so that's where we were. What the point of that whole entire story was, and that's a very famous Eric story because I started in one place and ended in another, was I needed fabric for my box and the fabric for the store. The store with the fabric, Gibson's Trim and Supply, was closed by the time I got down there because I'd taken Janie back to the office and we did this and we did that. And so I missed out. So I'll have to take a long lunch this week to go down there and get some fabric. I'm thinking something that looks like leather. I know that sounds crazy, but I think I would like to match the color of my
What the hell is wrong with you?
headliner. That took too long. So I would like to match that. So I'm gonna cut off a little swath of that. I'm gonna go by there and see if they've got anything close. And it needs to be fake leather. So with fabric behind it, because I want it to be kind of cushy when I touch it, push it down. Anyway, if not, I'll just get some kind of fake leather and put a pad underneath it. But I want it to be able to be wiped off so I could wipe it clean. Whoosh. And then that would be better. That would be great. That way, when it's getting dusty, and it will, I'll be able to clean it. That's an interesting amount of draw, 0.3. That's all of them on at once. So that's a pretty good 0.3 for all of them on at once. I think that's right. I think that's what I calculated. That's why we have a 1 amp magic thing going on. One light on is 1. So that's good. So 0.1 volts with them running. So that's some kind of amperage, probably close to 1. And we'll call it good there. All right. That's what I've got for this week. Hopefully we'll have some fabric for the outside of our magic lovely piece of equipment. We finished our brackets, so we can use those to just screw straight into the top of, and we'll be done with that part. I have a new source for a windshield, so we'll try to see if he can find us a windshield and install it for us. Wouldn't that be nice? But nonetheless, things are turning my way. I like it. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. You probably saw the thing there already, and we'll do that. All right. Like and subscribe.